according to the Fathers of Mercy Examination of Conscience sheet, being late to Mass is a sin, but if it's because it's your fault that you're late to Mass. So one time I thought I was going to be late to Mass. The night before, had been reading like the daily Mass readings, and I do have a video of this for proof. And it was like, the Lord has called you to be a people peculiarly His own. So if you know anything about Lectio Divina, sometimes you get like caught up by like a certain word when you're praying. And to me, I was like, peculiarly, that's a weird word to use. Why peculiarly His own? And then I looked up the meaning of peculiar and like the etymology, and it comes from the word peku, which means cattle. And in that moment I just was like, okay, this is weird. And I said, Lord, I want to be your cattle. And I was totally joking, right? But the Lord has a sense of humor. And so the next morning I'm going to church, and I just see all of these cows coming toward me. But in that moment, I was like, I'm gonna be late to Mass, and I was like, oh no, well, it's not a sin to be late to Mass because of something else. I was like, the Lord Himself is making me late to Mass because He just wants to show me His cattle. Where even is the person that's supposed to be? Oh, I see him. He was skinnier than the pole that he was hiding behind. Very healthy, very fit of him. It's pretty cool. The Lord is funny. He's done that to me a few times where, like, I'll ask a question and it'll just be like a ridiculous question. And he'll answer it in like the funniest ways. Like, I just, they say you think of God as like whoever your father was. And I don't know why, but I was like, Lord, do you smile? Like, do you laugh? I want to know if you laugh. Because to me, I'm like, that's not very pious. Like, people shouldn't laugh. Because, of course, I was very new at my faith, and there were so many things I didn't understand. And things I had just learned wrong because whatever. So, when I went to stay with the poor Claire right outside my room, they had a picture of Jesus laughing, and I just thought, oh, okay, so you do laugh. And He has a great sense of humor. Like, one time we're doing like the Peace Be With You, and I like to go to all these different churches, and so you notice where you're at based on how people Peace Be With You, because like when I've been to like Missoula, people Peace Be With You, like, peace be with you. But it's like when I went to Whitehall, some guy just came up from behind me and just goes bam, like on my shoulder, he's like, peace be with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, peace be with you too. Like, I'm like, ow. And so it's funny because it's so universal. Like, we all are peace be with you, and everybody's doing it in their own way. And one time, like, some lady went up, her peace be with you was like, peace be with you. And I was like, isn't that like a little hippie? Like, should we be using this symbol? And that same night, I'm watching this priest on YouTube because he has like a biblical, so he summarizes the different Bible chapters, and he includes all of the Deuterocanonical Bible chapters, so it was cool. And right behind him is this picture of Jesus, and the Lord's like, and it's actually a blessing. Like, apparently when the Lord does this, He's blessing you. And one time I was having like a really bad day, and I went to daily Mass at Resurrection, and I'm just like being grumpy and cranky and stupid, and I never really like to wear my glasses because like I can't read up close with them because they're annoying because I only need them to see far away. But I put on my glasses and I looked up, and I've never noticed this about like the Saint Damiano cross that they have, but at the very top you can very clearly see the Lord is like and I'm like, I just started laughing, and everybody was like, probably like, why is she randomly laughing? No, I think they're all too pious to really be thinking about other people. But if anybody had been looking at me, I went from being like cranky to just like I was like cracking up because it was just too funny. He was like, it's not that big of a deal, man. Like, I'm here. He did not call me man, he called me woman. But all these different funny things that God does to answer the questions in your heart. And so when I'm always trying to tell people, because like people don't pray, or when people pray, they're like, Lord, please this, but that's just not how a relationship works. Like, you need to ask, you need to listen, you need to talk. Like, it's a whole thing, you can't just like, God is not like this, I don't know, like, there's a word I'm looking for, and I never have the word when I need it. One-dimensional. He's very much real, and He's probably much more real than you're really giving Him credit for. You have to ask the things that you don't understand about God, and you have to ask Him, because God can answer questions in a way that will make sense to you in the depths of your heart, like that no one else can explain to you. Like when somebody's like, well, why do you believe in saints or something? I'm like, because when you die and go to heaven, you're more alive than you've ever been. But that just sounds, I just get mad that people are even asking something that dumb. But anyway, you have to ask God to show you. And, if you believe in saints, ask the saints to show you how they saw God. But ask God. When you think something's just ridiculous, like they're like, no, well, you're thinking, they're saying that Jesus blah, like how can that even be? You know, ask him and he will show you. Hear me out. Like one time, I was at the Resurrection Chapel, which is where I like to spend my evenings when I can't sleep. And I was like, Lord, why would you need to die a horrible death? Like, why would God need to do something like that? Why did you need to become a man for men? And what was funny was God answered it in such a very specific way that only I would have understood in that moment, because he's just hanging from that cross, you know, he's dead. And he goes, did you not just recently ask me to help you become the woman that your future husband needs you to be? And I was like, oh, yeah, I did actually recently ask you that. I wrote it down in my prayer journal. I want to become the woman that my future husband needs me to be. Because I'm like, I just don't know if I have everything that somebody else would need in a wife. And I prayed for that. And I understood in the depths of my heart that God became man because that's what we needed him to be. And in that moment, it felt like very specifically for me. Like he became man so that I could see and understand him as God. You just can't make that stuff up. But had he not asked a question, then it all just doesn't make sense, you know? Come man, that he would need to die a horrible death. Like, why could he not just come and reign? And it's because he's trying to teach you a very essential and important reality about what it means for God to be love. Because if God is love, which to love is to will the good of the other, this world, how this world is not okay. There's so much evil in it. And our consciousness, like our concupiscence, we are doing the opposite of what God does when he loves. And we think we're loving people, but we're not. We're selfish, and we're sinful, and we're fallen, and we are very, very much in need of God's grace. God, it does give you the grace, but like you have to participate, you have to look, you have to be there to nurture along with God. Not because you have any power, but because of obedience. Because like the plant doesn't just stop planting. And so the human shouldn't stop seeking God in the depths of his soul and with every good intention in their heart. Which is why you have a religion, particularly the one true religion. You need to nurture your relationship with God, and you need to obey authority. Otherwise things just don't work. Like we need authority to have a society, right? In the same way we need an authority to have God, and that is God's church. Which is where I'm headed right now. And I'm gonna probably be late.